Okay, so now are you able to explain about the SQL Server architecture?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, please go ahead.
70% I'll do present SQL Server. SQL Server architecture is a client server architecture, wherein SQL Server architecture has phases, three layers: protocol layer, relational layer, and data layer, storage layer. Whenever a client, protocol layer has three protocols: shared memory, named pipes, and TCP/IP. And the relational layer has three processes: executor, command parser, optimizer, and query explorer. Within storage layer as access methods. Later on, the transaction manager and buffer storage. Buffer storage is buffer storage, and buffer storage connected with the plan cache and dirty pages buffer cache. And the architecture also has the transaction manager is connected with the transaction logs, and the buffer manager is connected with the data file. Coming to the flow of the architecture, whenever a user or client uh, request uh, through the SQL Server Management System (SSMS), then tries to initially we have to the process is to connect to the SQL server. In that, the network interface redirects to network interface uses the protocol layer to connect to the SQL server. In protocol layer, the shared memory uh, means the user can in shared memory connection is allowed only in connection is allowed only in the particular network. And in the second protocol layer is like name pipes, where connection is allowed to company's LAN network. And in TCP/IP, LAN network and the remote connection is available in name pipes. And in TCP/IP, the user can connect to any to the server through any remote connections. Once the connection is established to a SQL Server Management System, the next layer that connects or the redirects is like relational layer. In relational layer, initially, the protocol layer redirects to the command parser in the relational layer, where command parser checks the query, whether the query is free of syntax, like whether the syntax is proper or not in the command parser, and the command parser then pushes, then processes this to the optimizer phase, where an optimizer checks for the execution plan. The plan will be present in the plan cache. The execution plan is something that whenever a query is executed, it checks for the faster way to execute the faster way to respond the data or respond with the result. The optimizer layer then sends the optimizer layer is the next phase after the optimizer layer is like query executor. Wherein in query executor, it connects with the query executor, uh, checks the user input or the client's input, and sends the response to the access methods. Access method checks whether the query is of DDL commands or DML commands, and with respect to that, the access methods redirects the next phase. Whether if it is the DML commands, then the query optimizer checks for the the access methods redirects to the buffer manager. In buffer manager, then redirects the plan cache and checks if there is any available plan to execute the requested data, requested to execute the requested data. And if there is any plan available in the plan cache, then it is fetched from the uh, data file to the buffer manager, and then it is pushed on to the client. If the access method has the inputs from the query of executor as an DML command, DDL commands, which is like update commands usually, then it pushes the request to the log manager. When the log manager executes the log manager performs a task on the records onto the transaction in the transaction log, then the result is being fetched onto the log manager, and the data is being updated into the data file through the buffer manager. And and the buffer manager also has the dirty pages, wherein if there is any request, wherein 30 pages is something that holds the multiple. To explain it with an example, if there is an update query to the access methods, there's 1,000 queries to be 1,000 records to be updated.
No,
Then
you are making it complicated here.
okay, sorry.
Okay. So dirty
This
pages,
one,
you can simply, it's okay. Now everything is fine.
okay.
So what I feel is till now I am okay. Everything is fine. So you are moving into dirty page example, then it is going into a complex way.
What
Dirty
is
pages.
simplify?
So dirty pages means a page which got updated, the data which got updated.
Okay.
Okay, that when it
The
stores in
data
the
which.
buffer, then it is called a dirty page.
Okay.
As part of that is enough.
As part of the, this
No,
comes
no.
only as part of the updation.
Yes.
Okay.
Dirty pages means, you know, you don't. I'm telling you example for your understanding. In interview, you should not tell example.
Oh, okay, fine.
Only the concept you should tell. Examples, I'm telling so that you can convert that into a concept.
Okay.
So here, you know that data, this is a table. These are the pages. You have pages, 8 pages. You have one row here. Okay. Or else you can think that you have 21 or 11 rows here. So this data is called this is a table, right? This is a table is saved on the MDF, means permanent data. So whatever the data which is stored on the MDF, it is called a permanent data. I have here 11 rows. Here, this is called a clean page. The data which is there, which is permanent, this is called a clean page. Now, what is the customer request is, he want to update out of this 11 rows, he want to update 5 rows. Database got a thing update. So another thing is you are telling DML, DDL. Okay, you got confused on that. If you get confused, don't tell that. DML, update means DML.
Yeah.
Got confused, you no need to tell. You can tell update, delete, insert. Okay, so you got an update statement from the user to update this data. Think that 5 rows. What SQL Server does is, it will fetch that 5 rows to the buffer. We got 5 rows. Buffer. Okay, this is a buffer. We have a page here with 5 rows. Okay. So here, is this updated?
No.
No. So as this is not updated, once an update request comes, it gets the data from the permanent data to the buffer.
Okay.
Now this is called a clean page.
Okay.
This clean page will be creating another page with updated data. The rows are updated. So this page is called clean page, and this page is called
page which has the updated data is called dirty page.
dirty page. This page is called dirty page. So this is the process. Okay.
Yeah,
so now I'm explaining you to understand the dirty page, how it is getting created. So now the data is created. This data information is also available. This changed data is also available in the log file. Right? The data, if it is a changes happen, it is already there in the log file. Means the page of 5 rows updated is available in the log file. Now, when will this get into permanent data? What happens now? So now data is updated. It is updated in that log file. What is the next step?
Next step, the data is been updated into the data file from the buffer.
No, it is not updated from the buffer. It is updated from the log.
Okay, the log manager takes the.
So the log, see now the log is having 5 updated rows.
Okay.
It will be having information in the buffer. Okay, this dirty page information is already there in the buffer.
Okay.
They told this is temporary. This information is there in the log. How will this 5 rows get updated here? What is the process? Guess how is, see we have think that we have 11 rows. Customer updated 5 rows.
Okay.
Out of this flow, how will this log backup get committed to the permanent data file? Okay, I told this is an important checkpoint is a process.
Yeah.
Point. So without that checkpoint, the data is not going to update. There is no use of doing all this process. It will stay here, log file, right? It will stay here. Here you have a balance of 1 lakh, but you withdraw balance of 50,000. It is not getting updated here. What is the use of having the log files?
Yes.
So it uses a process called checkpoint to update, to roll forward the log. Okay, this is a dirty page. The dirty page means committed, change data. Okay, to roll forward this data, there is a point called checkpoint wherein SQL Server will do. Now, the question here is, what is this one you're telling, right?
Yeah, that day I checked it.
This is Polybase. Polybase is different. Polybase is a process or a feature which is enabled to connect to the Azure databases from the on-premises. Okay. Understand? Polybase, it uses some ports to connect. This is different port. Just I didn't tell this to avoid confusion. Okay. So what is the default port for SQL Server? 1433.
Okay.
Okay, 1433 is the default port. To avoid this confusion, I didn't tell this particular ports and everything. This is not required. Okay, no one will ask questions on this.
Default port is 1433. No?
1433. People will ask question on that.
Okay.
Okay. So now my question is, what is different? Did I write here difference between a checkpoint